My wife kissed another man on a night out. I wasn't bothered, and now she's turning it into a major drama. Sorry if the title doesn't make much sense. I didn't know how to word it also on throwaway, as I don't want this on my main bit of context. We've been together since we were 18, never had a great sex life after the first year, maybe once or twice a year at most since then. But at the minute, it's going on 3 years, and although it bothers me, I love her, and I love our kids, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I know plenty of friends in the same situation. Another bit of context is that I've always been mildly overweight, but always fit, as I played a lot of sports until about 10 years ago when I got really ill, and a mixture of meds and comfort eating made me balloon up to nearly 300 lb. Well, 2 years ago, I decided to do something about. I'm now around 200, which at 6'2" is the lightest I've been as an adult. And I've actually enjoyed using weights, and for the first time in my life, have a bit of abs and some muscle. My wife, having always been far hotter, is pretty obviously insecure about the fact that for the first time we've been together. Women are starting to look at me and message me on my baking pages on social media. For the record, I've never even looked at another woman in that way. Onto the night in question, my wife went out with some friends, a mix of singles, and in a relationship. She looked stunning, and I told her so. I even updated my phone home screen to that picture of her. Lol, one of the friends she was out with messaged me about 3 months, and the gist was she knows I get no sex. My wife doesn't realize how lucky she is, and basically, do I want to hook up? I obviously instantly take a screenshot and send it to my wife around 4:00 a.m. My wife gets home and she wakes me up as she gets into bed. I'm half awake but can tell something is wrong and ask what the matter is. She doesn't say anything for a few seconds, and as I go to grab her hand, she pulls away. I ask if she wants me to get her a drink, and she says no. Then she just blurts it out and says, "I met a guy tonight, he kissed me." Didn't kiss back at first, then I did. Then for the next half hour, we were dancing and constantly kissing. She kept saying sorry and begging me not to leave. My honest first reaction was, so what, it's only kissing and dancing. I didn't say that. I just hugged her and tried to calm her down. An hour or so later, once I got the right words in my head, I said, "I know you feel really guilty, but please don't. I'm not going to leave you and break up our family over some kissing and dancing, and I don't love you any less than I did yesterday. And this isn't something that's going to grow and cause in resentment." More or less right on cue, my phone goes off, and it's that friend of hers with a picture and a video of what my wife was doing. This set my wife off again, but my feelings still haven't changed, and a month later that remains the case. In that month since then, my wife has accused me of not loving her because I didn't care. She's accused me of kissing other people and more, which is why I didn't care, as I was covering up my own indiscretions. And she's accused me of being gay multiple times, which doesn't make sense. She keeps asking me why I haven't initiated anything with her, even though in the past she's told me she hates being touched and not to ever try it on with her, which I've respected. She's basically projecting, and it's annoying me as it's putting a strain on us, which she is 100% causing. How do I get through to her that she needs to stop feeling guilty and just move on? Because I have, as it's not a big deal. I was genuinely more annoyed when she broke my baking bowl and tried to blame it on them. Cat LAL till wife kissed another man. I don't care. And now she's causing problems because she's guilty and projecting. How do I stop this? Edit. Hi all, just wanted to say thank you all so much for taking the time to respond to me. I really do appreciate it. And I'm overwhelmed you all took the time. I keep getting asked a few questions, so thought I'd address them here. Over the years, we have been to a few different couples, counselors, and sex therapists, the latest being last September. For both, my wife always feels like she's being victimized by them. And we stopped going. Nearly all have said, though, they think she is asexual, and two even saying she is displaying a lot of signs of being a closeted lesbian, which I have brought up to her before, and she is adamant she's not. On that note, I've had a lot of messages saying she wants to feel wanted and for me to be more forward with her. This is not true. In all our sessions, she said she doesn't want me trying it on with her. She doesn't even want me to initiate hugs, and just bringing up sex makes her feel under pressure. She let me and our therapist know that if she ever sex without her initiating, it will be no more than pity sex. As for people saying I don't love her, I buy her flowers every Friday on the way home from work. I bake her favorite cookies or cupcakes every weekend. I send her voice notes of songs I'm listening to that remind me of her. I tell her I love her every day. I run her a bath every Knight, this isn't me showing off. This is how I was brought up, to show love for those saying I must have been brought up in an unloving home. People have said that I don't get jealous. I don't love her if it. She told me she was having an emotional affair. She spent hours on the phone with someone else laughing and joking. She snuggled on a sofa eating chocolates and watching TV with someone, etc. I'd be devastated. A dance and a kiss isn't a big deal to me and not even close to divorce. Thank you all. Again, for reading XX second edit, sorry for these, it's 70A. M in the morning, here now the day after I posted this, been talking to my wife since 600 and said she's got a week to agree to go back to Coops counseling, and she's got to stick it out this time and not just accuse them of taking sides and refuse to go back. She said no. She said they all bully her and make her out to be the bad guy. She said, I went back on my word that I forgive her and won't resent her. I said this isn't about the kiss, it's about her reaction since the kiss, and that it feels like she's purposely trying to drive me away and make me leave her. She just got up and stormed out the room. She then got dressed and said she's going out until I go to work. Relevant comments commenter. She's trying to sabotage the relationship, and she's getting mad that you won't let her up. That's the conclusion. I'm heartbreakingly coming to this. Hurts infinitely more than seeing her kiss someone else. Comment her. Did it ever occur to you that she wants you to be jealous and to fight for her? Blowing it off and being nonchalant about it makes you feel like you don't care about other men hitting on her. All she wants is for you to get jealous about what happened, because if you don't, it's going to escalate from kissing to an affair just to get your attention and reaction. Well, if she's playing these sort of games, then I will leave her. That's what teenagers do, not adults in their 40s. Commenter. Others have said the same, but you both need to have a grown-up conversation to understand what is really going on. Here is the relationship working. Do you both remain committed? And do you see a future together? If so, couples counseling is the only way to go. You can't fix it here. If not, then divorce. Do it as kindly as possible, but do it quickly. No point dragging something out which is destined to fail. Happy to spend the rest of my life with her. I love her and my kids and the life we have. Would I like more sex? Yes, but we've been to the doctors, we've been to sex counselors, and they found some problems. It's just who she is, and I'm happy to live with that if it means I get to be with her and the kids. Comment her. First, her friend who has the hots for you is in her ear. Second, maybe you need to take a look at your relationship and rekindle the romance. Maybe that's what she needs. I mean, why? My wife has a low sex drive. Would her friend know about it? You guys are maybe acting like old married couples, and you are too young for that. I try to be romantic. I buy her flowers every Friday on my way home from work. I bake her favorite snacks every weekend. Even stupid little things like giving her the dinner that looks most presentable on the plate on cold mornings. I'll get out of bed early to warm her car up and defrost it before she drives to work. On the physical side, I always tell her how beautiful she is, how hot she looks, because she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and I wouldn't change anything at all about her. She couldn't be more perfect to me. I just don't know what more I can do. And this is what her friend said to me. The message she sent me was so long, and it seems like she knows an awful lot, and she also sees it herself. There was one bit I keep thinking back to when she said she was round hours, and I'd made my wife a homemade card and wrote a poem in it. And when I left the room, she said my wife made a gagging face to her friend and started laughing. I can remember hearing a noise and then laughter, and I thought she just choked on her drink. That hurts me infinitely more than a kiss and a dance. If she's not attracted to men, I have asked her this numerous times throughout the marriage, and even suggested if she wanted to explore that side of herself, then she could try and find herself and be who she really is. She's always batted it away and said she's not a lesbian. She just has a low sex drive. This has always been my thought over the years, and I brought it up to her privately in couples counseling and in sex therapy. The sex therapist also said she's giving a lot of signs of being a closeted lesbian as well. How do you have kids if you have sex once a year? Both times we tried for kids, she got pregnant pretty much instantly. First one within a month, second one within 2 months. We'd have sex every day, but no foreplay or anything. Unfortunately, update, it's been nearly 2 weeks since I made the post, and the short update is that we're getting divorced. I said in my last post, I told her I wanted us to go back to Coopy's counseling and sex therapy. She said no to both. As we went before, and she felt bullied, she said at sex therapy that unless she initiates touching, not just sex, any touching like hugs or hand-holding it, will be against her will and will be forced to pity affection from her. The sex therapist said that's very unreasonable, and that's why she felt bullied there. I tried to ask her a few questions too. Are you a lesbian? Or at least by don't be stupid. Are you asexual? I'm not a teenager with a stupid label. What did he have that I don't? I just wanted to do it. Why don't you ever want to do that with me? Don't know what can I do to make you want to do that to me? Don't know, do you want me to take the initiative and try it on with you more? No. I'll tell you when I want it. Don't guess. So she refused the therapy and gave me no straight answers. She has also said I've gone back on my word about not letting the kiss split us up. Because now it is. I said it's not the kiss, it's your behavior since then that has caused me to want a divorce, she said. It's my decision to divorce and it's all my fault. Then I should be the one to tell our kids, and she will have no part of it that was hard. As soon as they were told, my wife left for her sisters, and in the 3 days since I haven't heard anything from her, I've tried speaking to her about the kids as they miss her, but she reads my messages and ignores me. A lot of people asked about the friend and why they still talk after she tried it on with me. My wife tried to get the friend group to cut the friend out, but my wife tried to get the friend group to cut her out. They all pretty much refused, and so my wife just chose to ignore her in group settings on the night in question. That friend approached my wife and told her if she didn't tell me she would send me the video, so my wife didn't tell me because she felt guilty. But because she was forced, I've also spoken to a couple of other friends in the group and asked what's been going on. I'm not privy to. Apparently my wife was sexting her friend's boyfriend a couple of years ago. My wife has also been boasting about how she has me under the thumb and she gets away with giving me nothing. And I'm too scared to ask. The friend apparently saw me out shopping one day and decided I was now more and thought she'd try and exact some revenge on my wife, so she didn't really want me. I was just a pawn in this weird friend group, one of many internal beefs with each other, which I've found out about in the last few days. Basically, they all seem to hate each other and mess with each other's partners. I'll be honest now, and I feel incredibly guilty about it. She left my body and soul, seemed to take a massive sigh of relief. It was like a black cloud that was dripping eggshells on the floor for me to constantly avoid. I feel terrible for feeling this way, but I feel like I'm 6 to height now, rather than a bro-beaten 3 foot who is scared to even say anything for fear of being told I'm wrong or insulted or ridiculed. It's like the blinkers have been taken off. Spent the day today baking with my kids, eating Easter eggs and watching cartoons, and I haven't stopped smiling all day. I haven't winced or broke out in a sweat worrying I'm about to be told off about being too noisy or watching the wrong thing on TV or there's a wrapper on the floor. Thank you everyone for your support on my last post. I appreciate you all. XXTDR. We are divorcing. Relevant comments. Commenter: you sound like a good person who just wanted to save your marriage. Glad you now realize no woman is worth being treated like you've been treated. It will be a rough time for a while, but you're going to come out of this stronger and never date or marry cold basic women again. It is rough, and I do feel like a failure for not being enough for her, but at the same time I genuinely feel 2 taller and 100 lb lighter since she left. It's a really weird feeling. I now know I'd rather live alone under a bridge than in a household like that. Again, commenter: you didn't fail her. You failed yourself by believing all this toxic abusive she was feeding you, and that's understandable. Abuse creeps up on you. She was feeding you until it's under your skin. It sounds like she had you convinced you could do nothing right. You deserve to be treated with respect, kindness, and honesty. These things cost absolutely nothing. They're baseline standards for human interaction. At least if you're dealing with decent people. That's exactly how it was. I was scared to even offer an opinion on something, and I still am now. My kids asked yesterday what film I wanted to watch, and I found myself scared to give an answer, thinking whatever I chose would be rejected, and I'd be ridiculed. Commenter: she doesn't want to take responsibility and is trying to manipulate you into the bad guy. You want to improve the situation and improve yourself from outside help. She wants the status quo to remain and is blaming the medical professionals for making her confront the way she treats you. Covert narcissists. Look it up so you don't fall into that trap again. It may suck now, but your sanity should come back to you. You've been living in her mind games for a long time. She is 100% making me the bad guy. I'm not on social media, but keep hearing about posts saying things like you give your life to someone only for them to drop you when your halo slips a bit. Whatever. Lol. Commenter: dude, look up covert narcissism. She caused all the problems. You tried to fix them, but it was never enough or correct for her. That's what I've been thinking about the last few days, that everything wrong in her life has been traced back to me, and is my fault from big things, like I don't earn enough money for her to live in the house she wants, to little things like she knocked her glass over, and it's my fault as I talked to her while she was watching something. If the kids are old enough, tell them she cheated. They are too young for that. I just told them that mommy and daddy have decided it's best we don't live together anymore, and it's something a lot of grown-ups do, but it's not the kids' fault, and they are still loved and cherished by both of us. Post the video proof. I've got that video and all the screenshots of her sexting her friends' boyfriends, and also there are some screenshots of a WhatsApp group chat where she has been posting pics for strangers to comment on. But it's blatantly her, as she has a tattoo under her boob, which is unique to her. There are also some other videos and pics of nights out, which her friend group have sent me. Keep records. UK courts probably won't care as much about the cheating, so much as the abandonment. Yeah, agreed, the courts don't care. It's more for my own sake. If she tries to twist it on me and say I left her for no reason and she did nothing wrong, I'm keeping a record of her not answering the phone to me or my eldest son, and also how long it's been since she left, and that she left of her own accord and has chosen to not come back. Comment or update us when she realizes the grass ain't greener up. She's been out nearly every night since she went to her sister's. I genuinely hope she does find some nice green grass and be happy. Mini update. Sorry for updating here. I'm only allowed to make one update on Ray. Also want to thank everyone again for their concern and kindness they've shown me on my 2 posts, and also thank you to everyone on Boru who made some lovely comments after my post was shared on there. Unfortunately, the post was locked before I found out, so I couldn't thank you all personally after my last update. A lot of people commented and messaged me to say that I'm sure my kids are mine. This thought never entered my head until I read what people said. Last Thursday, I ordered a P-test, sent it Friday, and I'm awaiting the results. At this point, I don't really care. It won't change my love for them, but I'm terrified if they come back as not biologically mine, I'll lose them. I discussed this with my lawyer last week, who said if they aren't mine, it will be much, much harder to get even any kind of custody. I told him if it comes to that, then I'll keep fighting until the end, blood or no. They are my boys. Speaking of the boys, my Spox has seen them a couple of times with her mom, who's genuinely a nice person, and the kids have been fine. I can't say the same about my baking equipment, though she came into the house on Friday last week when she knew I was out and took a lot of it and purposely broke some bits she knew had sentimental value to me that came from my grandma and my mom. I can't prove she did anything, and she brought the stuff back on Sunday and said she just borrowed the items. But I love baking, and she is slowly ruining it for me. I'd already deleted my Instagram page because she was insecure about the women who followed me, and this time, she must have remembered I was making a cake for my niece's birthday and tried to sabotage it. I've made notes of and screenshots of everything. As a lot of you rightly predicted, she had also been cheating on me a lot, although no evidence of it being physical yet from what I can tell. Her friend, who is also in this WhatsApp group, where women basically just post nudes and men comment. I still need to get the details of this group so I can finally get to see some boobs again. Lol sent me a lot more screenshots of photos she's taken all around our house, blatantly, her bedroom, and some of them, and one, even stood against my car also. A few of these friends are single, and when they hook up with someone, my wife will add the guy on Facebook and has basically been offering herself to them. One of the friends messaged one of the guys who still had the chats in his Facebook DMs and sent the friend a load of screenshots to send to me. All in all, I must have over 100 screenshots of stuff she's been saying and sending to people, and all of that is within the last couple of years, so probably goes on further. As for the divorce, still in the early stages. One day, I want to fight the next. I just want to give her everything materially, not the kids, and walk away and start again, so I can get this finished and done. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer. Nearly midnight here, but I'll try to stay up. Low relevant comment up. I've already started recording our phone calls, and on the couple of occasions I've seen her, I've made sure there's a witness. Feels so sad it's come to this. Makes me want to just give her everything in a quick divorce and walk away. Mini update post 2 title update. Got the DNA results, and my sons are mine. Mini update. Thank you for your support, everyone. X mini update post 3 title. It's nearly 6 a.m. here. My ex-wife had the kids last night, and I'm drunk and lonely. First night I've had to myself in maybe 20-odd years, and I didn't know what to do. I thought about getting someone around so I could finally have some physical interaction. Instead, I just sat on my own and drank for the first time in years. Too sorry for the boring post. I'm just lonely and wanted some affection. Relevant comments next day. Thank you. My kids came back at 6 0 last night, and they were pretty much in bed and asleep by 7. 0 got a day planned at a bay fair today, and then an early night ready for school tomorrow. I just instantly feel better when their back update posts too. I have moved back to my hometown and given my ex the house I know people will. And I'd be happy with that. But I just wanted a clean break and no ties to her or that city. The kids are with me and see their mom on weekends, provided I make the 5-hour round trip to drop them off on a Saturday morning, and then make the same trip Sunday afternoon to pick them up. We'll say I'm doing what she wants, but if it makes my kids happy, it makes me happy. She seems okay with this arrangement, although she has flaked twice already once the kids say they no longer want to go. It won't take them. The divorce is still going through, but won't be done for a few more months yet. According to my lawyer, I'm baking a lot more now and loving it. Thank you everyone who has thought about me. You are also great. XX comment. I am in therapy. It's been a great help in making me realize my worth. Update post 3 title. My 41MX41F messaged me yesterday, saying she no longer wants to see our 2 kids and is happy to give them away in our divorce. How to navigate mixed emotions of this. I posted on here a few months ago. If you want to look at my profile and read them about my wife kissing another man on a night out, despite not having had sex with me for years. I wasn't bothered and was willing to ignore it and carry on, but she kept making issues over it, and eventually we split up. I moved back to my home city about 2 hours away, and the kids came with me. My ex-wife said it was too far for her to travel to have them at weekends, so every Saturday morning. Weekends I've been driving them up to her and then picking them back up Sunday evening, so they got to see their mom. We'd make fun trips out of it, and would take snacks, play audiobooks of sing-alongs, etc. But I'd noticed they always seemed happier to be picked up than taken there. I just always assumed it was because all their stuff and their main home was with me. My ex has started to cancel these weekends a bit recently. 3 of the last 5 she's canceled. She started to say things like they don't like me anyway, and you've poisoned them, which is not true. I have never said a bad thing about their mom to them, or in front of them, and never would. Plus, I make 2 4-hour round trips every weekend, so she can see them, and they can see her. I'll be honest, every Saturday after I drop them off, I cry all the way home. I miss them so much. They are my little best mates. Every night after dinner, we will all do our chores and do a different activity. Sometimes it's a walk in the woods behind my house, or we bake or have movie nights or read books together. I'm quite good with my hands and love making and fixing things, whether it's baking, cooking, DIY, or car repairs, and they have started to take an interest too. So we have a couple of projects on the go, like building a kind of Wendy house for them, but it will have games, consoles, a fridge for their drinks and snacks, etc. Plus we are also building a couple of petrol go-karts from scratch for them to race at a nearby track when they are. How do I handle this done? Which they are designing themselves and we are building together. Basically, my life is taken up with them in the week, and then at the weekends I feel like a lost zombie until it's time to go get them. Then, yesterday I received a short text from her saying she no longer wants to see them. All they do is ask for me anyway. They don't have fun there, and they basically get in the way. I was absolutely heartbroken for my boys, and I rang her straight away. I'll be honest, I started crying as I felt so bad for them, and she genuinely acted like I was annoying her for wanting to get to the bottom of it. She then said, sounds like you don't want them either and are just trying to palm them off on the weekends, and hung up on me. I don't even know how I'm going to tell them this. Do I just say she's canceled for a few weeks and see how it goes? Do I tell them the truth? How do I say it in a way that kids will understand and won't absolutely crush them? Then I've got the conflicted, selfish emotion of pure joy that I'll have the whole weekend with them. It's so selfish of me. I know as they are going to be sad while I'm happy. Has anyone been in a similar situation from my side or the kid's side? How do I handle this? Tilder ex-wife said she no longer wants to see the kids. I'm sad for them and happy for me. How do I handle this? Relevant comments are kids in therapy. I got them in therapy as soon as we split up because everyone in their life is attached to this one way or another, and they need an outside voice to help them understand it, and someone they can be truly honest with without fear of hurting feelings. Have her give up her parental rights. Why talk to a lawyer? I spoke to a lawyer today and showed him everything, which was then emailed over to him, and he sent a letter to her divorce lawyer saying that I want sole custody. Commenter, don't forget child support. I hope you're receiving and getting it adjusted based on the new custody agreement. I don't need her money. I make enough to look after us as if I ever was to receive anything. it would go into savings for them, to a longer comment accusing him of making she can keep the house everything up so men can't be abused and made to feel worthless and unloved. She can keep the house, it's worth about pound 140k, so pound 70k is a small price to pay to be rid of her. We don't have alimony here. In the UK, once you're divorced, you're done. We pay child support, but that goes to the main parent, which is me, and she can keep her 25b a week. I don't need it. I've got plenty of anger and resentment towards her. Trust me, mate, if she was on fire, I wouldn't piss on her, but I'm not going to show that anger and resentment in front of the kids, am I? Because I'm not a psycho. Why would you walk away from the 70k? It's just going to drag on forever and frustrate the out of me. I know it's not worth it. She's going to wreck the house. To lower the value, she'll refuse. To let people view it, she'll miss all the meetings. She'll refuse to sign anything. She's going to make this unbearable. And I'll be driving 4-hour round trips hundreds of times for no reason. It genuinely isn't worth it. She will make my life a living hell and would rather walk away with nothing than me walk away with something. Update post 4 quick recaps. Split up with my wife a few months ago after she cheated on me on a night out. I was willing to stay, but she got upset. I wasn't more upset, and I had enough and left. I moved 2 hours away to my hometown and let her have the house. Our 2 sons came with me. I drive them to and from her house every weekend to see them, but she started canceling, and then one day texts me saying she no longer wants to see them and is happy to give them up in the divorce. So as far as her giving up her rights as a parent, it's a lot harder than I thought. Both my lawyer and hers have told me that it's hard to do this in the UK, and neither of them have seen a judge allow it unless there is a physical or sexual chance of harm to the children. However, they have both also said they've never presented a case like this to a judge where both parties agree to it fully. They've telling my kids drafted an agreement where we both agree that my ex-wife no longer has responsibilities towards my children, including financially. Let's see what happens with that. Just waiting now to get a court date. But they said that can be months away. Onto the hardest part, telling my kids. I'll be honest, I haven't the first couple of weeks. I just said mom had canceled again when they asked, and the eldest in particular seemed pretty relieved at this both times, and last weekend, they didn't even ask. It's been over a month now since they've seen her. The eldest has also told me that he doesn't like going there anyway, as all she does is sleep and shout. He also told me the other day he prefers his new house and he feels more relaxed. I feel terrible, as I was obviously missing signs before that he wasn't fully happy when we were together as a family. At least he's more comfortable now. I had a bit of a wobble last night. Youngest, though, he was watching Land Before Time, and then he started saying he misses his mom and then started crying. It was full-blown tears and breaking down, and it was awful to see. While I was holding him, I started crying, but I made sure he couldn't see. I didn't say anything bad about his mom or tell him she doesn't want to see him anymore. I just hugged him and stroked his hair and told him I'll always be here for him, and he can always come to me if he is upset, happy, or just wants to be silly, and I'll never push him away. Once they were in bed, I was in pieces, blaming myself for leaving their mom, questioning why I couldn't be stronger and live with it for a few more years until they were adults. It was me who left. It's me who's made them drive up and down the country every weekend, unsettled them, uprooted their lives at 2 a.m. This morning, I drafted a text to my wife asking her to get back together and to be a mom again. Luckily, I didn't send it. I had about 3 hours of sleep but felt better this morning. None of her family have been in touch either to try and maintain a relationship with the boys. It's horrible, to be honest, but they are the ones missing out on these 2 amazing kids. One of her cousins messages me every so often, but she asks more about me than kids, so that either feels like ulterior motives or a trap, which I'm not falling into. As for my divorce, Meg lawyer has said it should hopefully be finalized before Christmas. Not that it'll make much difference. I don't wear my ring, and she has a new 20-year-old boyfriend, not the guy she cheated with. Will be nice, though, to finally be able to say ex-wife and it be official. Till not much success. Comments with kids. Mom dropping responsibilities officially. Kids seem a bit happier. Relevant comments. Commenter: why not just say no to her being absolved of all responsibilities? Tell her it's fine that they're not going to come visit anymore, but she still needs to pay child support. Then put it in the bank for your children's future. Op. She barely works. Tested it, and she'd pay around 2 a month. Rather go without to another. She works 15 hours a week. When I did an online means tester, it was about 20 a month. Small price to pay to be rid of her. To another, I have 5-figure savings accounts for both of them, plus my garage, which is a successful business and I own the land it's built on 20. A month is 240 lb a year. I can make that in the morning on a side job on a car. I'd rather do that once a year than have to ever have a reason to talk to her again. Don't worry about them seeing you cry. They've seen me cry before I just didn't want him to think it was his fault I was crying. Commenter. Were there signs that she was like, this is it possible? This is a mental health issue? Or was she always like this and dismissive? Looking back, she was always dismissive of me. Can count on my hands how many times we've had sex in the last 15 years, and in the end, she banned me from any sort of touching, like holding hands or hugging. She was a good mom until a couple of years ago, and then within a few months over half her friend group became single, and that's when she started to change towards the kids too. Commenter. You're getting a lot of advice here, but I would stay away from Land Before Time. It's traumatizing enough as a movie alone, let alone someone whose mothers abandoned them. Always check the movies you let them watch from now on up. He said he was going to watch the dinosaur movie, and that normally means Denver the Last Dinosaur on YouTube. I had no idea he'd pick that one. Commander. If she doesn't want them now, she didn't then either, so please don't try to get back together. You don't know what kind of damage she was doing to them. I never would. It was a momentary lapse. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.